Don't mind what's going on over there. So, we're getting this thing prepped for painting. Oh, that motherfucker's running. So, it's got all this pollen and shit on it. So, what we need to do, is what I'm doing right now, is I'm just taking a wet cloth and I'm just wiping this down just so we can get all the pollen off. And then I'm going to get it ready for masking. And then I'm going to try and get the hood sanded and primed before nightfall. So that way I don't have to worry about it, rusting or anything. But it's not supposed to rain for the next couple of days, not until at least Sunday. If it rains Sunday, if it rains Sunday, then I'm kind of fucked. But I need to get the nipples. I need to get the nipples either masked off or taped off or something, or taken off. But the nipples, they don't work, so we'll fix that eventually. Probably after I'm done priming this thing. I think what I'm going to do too is when I'll lift up the hood, and I'll just kind of put some cardboard or something around the top of the grill, because the grill's fine. Eventually I'll probably repaint that later when I put the stripe on it, because this thing, being a Mopar 11, there's supposed to be a blue stripe that goes all the way across the driver's side, all the way down to the bumper. So it's supposed to go like that. But I don't know if you can see it, but right there on the nipples, yeah, it's popping up on the camera. Yeah, that kind of looks like shit. It's really bad. Clear coat's like falling off on it, so it's completely matted. No matter how many times I polishing it kind of helped it, but all it did was just honestly just slow it down. All this is just heat from being out in the sun. Look at that sun. Almond Raw, why do you do this? But no, I'm just trying to get this thing situated. So as soon as this is done drying and curing, we'll come back. Alright, so I masked off all the one I'm kind of willing to mask. I want to get this thing at least sanded and primed. So, yeah. I'm a dumbass and I didn't realize that I probably should have gotten like a block or something. There's a dent right there. Whatever. Should have got a block to get into these crevices right here, because the DA sander is just not gonna cut it. So I'm getting a phone call. But yeah, right there and there. I just gotta be careful not to get down to the bare metal or along these edges, because that's going to be catastrophic to try and fucking prime it again. But you don't want to go all the way down to the bare metal, because then you have to e-coat it and then you kind of fuck yourself. But I'm going to at least try my best and not fuck it up. But yeah, getting in these nooks and crannies right here and all around here. Why couldn't they just made a smooth hood? I mean, this thing would have been nice with a smooth hood, or at least do vents. At least it's nowhere near as bad as that Camry or the Hellcat. But I feel like the Hellcat would probably be a little bit easier. I don't know. So I'm gonna sand it 25% of the way through. All the stone chips and everything, obviously, we've kind of gotten. I don't have a blowgun, so probably should have thought about that. But I had a little bit of burn through. And you might be asking, well, where's the sander at? What kind of sander are you using? I'm using a polisher, a dual action polisher. Yeah, now this thing doesn't actually have the proper pad for sticky sandpaper. Yes, it is Velcro. Yes, I am probably going to damage it. Whenever am I ever going to polish again? I polished the car once. I don't think I'm ever going to do it again. So hence the new sander. So instead of buying an actual palm sander, a dual action sander running on a electric. Oh, this thing is so nice too, because I can actually control the speed on it. Like I can go nice and slow all the way to that. So very nice. And it works with my impact guns too. So that's always a plus. So oops. But it's not bad. It's not down in the metal. It's like almost there. So primer is going to be heavy on the edges anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Eventually I'll get this professionally done. But yeah. Now I had a little bit of burn through, but those stone chips are so deep you almost had to burn them through. I'm thinking about maybe just puttying that. I'm gonna do what you shouldn't do, and you're supposed to hand sand all that right there. I'm gonna just feather it with my DA or my polisher, just so I can just hurry up and get this done. Because of that's why. I may have to, I was originally just gonna let this sit outside, but I'm slowly changing my mind. I'm probably gonna end up putting it in the garage, just so I don't have to worry about it. No accidents. I had a little bit of burn through. I was kind of expecting it to be right there. And then a couple other stone chips I ended up getting all the way down to the primer. I'm trying to remember exactly how to do this correctly. If I need to burn down to the primer and then prime it again, or if I could just sand the base coat down, just prime over it and call it a fucking day. Which, I mean, I'm gonna end up probably just doing that anyway, because eventually this is gonna get professionally redone. And if I'm gonna do it, instead of getting the blue stripe like just vinyled on, I'm gonna actually have it, I will have it painted. So yeah, that'll be expensive but fun. But that'll be a project for later on down the road. I'm just trying to get this at least ready so it looks at least half decent. This hood was bothering me. There were stone chips and shit just all over it. It was scratched. So most of the scratches are gone. I'm worried about this right here. If I have to get all the way down to try and get rid of that. I know there's gonna be some imperfections. I'm not really gonna be too worried about it, because unless you're looking for them, you're not gonna see them. But that I mean, right there, that scratch right there, and there's a couple other new ones that were on there that I sanded through. I just Sharpied over them, and it was getting to the point where it was just getting too much. I'm almost out of battery. I'm gonna have to charge this battery, so I'm kind of fucked right now. It was looking like I was gonna be able to prime this stupid thing, but no. I missed a few spots. A little bit of gloss right there. But I wetted it down, got most of the dust off of it. Now I can see exactly where I was working and where I missed. So there's a couple of spots there, a little bit of gloss left there, some around there. But you can see some of the chips. I kind of had to go down to bare metal. There was a dent right there, or a pretty deep chip. Got that out. So most of the chips are coming out. Some of them, like that one, came out. This one I'm not so sure of. This one I know I'm going to have to grind it down and use putty if I want to correctly fix it. As you can see, it was already down to the metal. So I'm kind of fucked there. There was a dent right there. Yeah, I gotta just fine tune it. But all I did was I took a wet rag. I might hit it with a DA again, just because there's some of the gloss is still on the main hood part. But I mean, when you have as much dust as there was on here, you can't really tell. But what I'll do is, like I said, I'll probably hit that with 320. Any imperfections that I missed, and then wipe it down with a wet cloth and dry rag, just to get all the dust off of it. So it's coming along. I'll have to wait until it's cool out, or in the morning when it's not gonna be humid and too warm, so I can get this thing primed and painted. So the one thing I said I wasn't gonna do was hit this thing with 320. I realized, because that's the 180 grit, that's 320. So it's a lot smoother. I am gonna hit it. One thing I did discover though is that using a Velcro stick or a Velcro pad for a sticky, and then using a sticky pad on it, not the best of ideas. So what I developed was using 2 adhesives to create one super adhesive, known as duct tape, and the sticky side of a 320 pad. So I'm realizing that the 180 lasts way longer than the 320. I kind of remembered going through a lot of sandpaper. I always thought it was the 180 grit that I was going through a lot of, and the 320. It's just the 320. This is the second pad, and I got half of this. I got some of this all along here, and then this whole side, and then it just kind of fell apart there. You can kind of see the swirl marks and everything. It just really wasn't sanding. So then I just kind of tested with a new pad, and yeah, sure enough, it's the same thing. So there's a deep scratch right there, so I just took a I was trying to use the 320 that was old, which is that white pad right there. And didn't do anything. New pad, which you can see the little tab there busted off. I used that as a test, and yeah, sure enough, it pretty much took out the scratches. So it's going to be a little while before I'm able to actually prime this thing. The current temperature is about 83 degrees without ever looking at a thermometer. Looking at the thermometer, it is 87 degrees in the middle of February. So that's... Thank you, Mother Nature. I do appreciate the heat, but why couldn't it have been like overcast today? And yesterday we have the sun, because it was a lot cooler yesterday. I could have primed this thing yesterday, but now I don't think I'm going to be able to. Because by the time it cools off, everybody's going to be parked, and I'm not going to be able to spray. I'm going to go shooting Sunday. I'd want to get this thing at least primed before then, so then I can let it cure, because if you do the primer correctly, it's going to take a while for it to cure. They say 24 hours after you prime it, then you can sand it down and paint it. It's going to be a while. And from the looks of it, I should be able to paint this thing Tuesday if everything goes right. So I could probably, well, now that I think about it, I could probably have this thing drivable by Tuesday. If I end up priming this tonight. If I can't prime it tonight, it's going to be Sunday. I don't want to prime it Sunday because I can't. Everybody will be here. I'm going to have too many damn cars, so it's just going to push it to Tuesday. So I'm kind of falling a little bit behind because of the weather. And not because it's raining, it's the exact opposite. It's because it's too damn warm to prime. So as far as what I could tell, I'm probably not going to be able to paint it. If this hood turns out good, this will be the next project, is this mirror. So this mirror right here, the camera's not really picking it up. I don't know if you could see it, but yeah, you can kind of see it right about there. So that's just paint stick. When I was washing it, the primer, it was, well, the paint like came off. That was fun. I have the color correction for it, so this will be another project. This right here is going to be another project. I don't know if you can kind of you can see too much of the glare, but if I do that, you can see, you know, all the scratches and everything on it. Yeah, what happened was it was middle of the night. It was either drive this thing into a bush or try and get it around a truck. I smacked a truck. I got irritated because it was pitch black. It was the old man's truck. Nothing happened to his truck, of course, but the door was dinged in pretty hard. We got some of the dents out, but I don't think I'm gonna like actually fully repair the door. Yeah, you can see the crinkle right there. You compare it to the other door. See no crease. I may end up just getting another door for it that's already painted black and spend the $200 on it instead of me spending 3 weeks and painting a fucking door. Well, if anybody knows anything on how to fix this, let me know. This, I just probably just get a hammer or something or some glue and just put that back in. But this looks like shit. I used some plastic moisturizer on it. It didn't really do anything. I mean, it's not flaking as bad anymore since I moisturized it, but it still looks like shit. So I don't know, should I paint it? Should I sand it down and paint it? Like, what? There's the adapter. Velcro to sticky stick adapter. Before anybody says that doing this makes the sanding surface uneven, this is a foam pad on an unevenly surfaced hood. So I don't think it's going to hurt anything. It's not really hurting anything. Eventually it'll just flatten itself down and it'll be usable. So that's good, but you can kind of see that it's rippled. Is it making the sandpaper last less or giving it a shorter lifespan? Maybe. Am I too lazy to go to the auto parts store and get a Velcro to sticky adapter for this? Yes. Do I want to spend the money? No. Would I like to spend the money? No. Do I need to spend the money? No. Alright, so there's like 3 ways of getting this dust off. The right way is blow it off, take a wet cloth, wipe it down, dry cloth it, and then do that again. I don't have a blow gun, but I do have a leaf blower, so I did that already. And then the other way of doing it is to get a special type of cleaner that cleans dust, and then you can just wipe the hood off with that cleaner. I don't have it. Third option is brake clean, so I'm considering it because it'd just probably be faster. But I'm gonna do it the water method, but I'm gonna do it backwards. I'm gonna dry rag it first. Whatever doesn't get picked up, I'm gonna dampen this rag, wipe it up, dry rag, damp it, dry it again. I feel like that would be the safest way of doing it if I'm doing it wrong. I left long tabs to unmask, so you just pull up the tabs, rip, and then away you go. So it took me off about maybe 3 minutes to mask it. I'm gonna mask it correctly. I was gonna take those nipples off. I'm gonna leave them on there. If there's dust in there, then whatever. But you can see how much cleaner it is. Now, some of the weather stripping ended up kind of coming off with it. I don't know how to fix that. And you can see it's all just, it's been like that for a while. Even all the way up across into there, it's just kind of coming apart. I don't have control over that, but I mean, it is what it is. I might just take some Flex Seal, like you can see right there, or it's just lifted up. Yeah, that's no good. So I'll probably just get some Flex Seal or some kind of sealer, but what it's supposed to look like, and we'll go to the Hellcat, is this. Nice and soft. Fucking spiders. Fucking pricks. I mean, I guess there are just trying to escape the cold. But what sucks is like these little helicopter thingies, they get stuck into there on the Charger. It's fucking annoying. So, clean hand test. Yeah, I know that when I sand, that's what my hands... That's what my hands... This is why I don't do any type of body work without gloves, is because my hands start peeling like that, and it gets kind of painful. But dust test, nothing. So I got all of it. So off to mask this thing for priming. You know, every now and then I have a 100 IQ of actually testing something before applying it. Now this is primer. I just sprayed a little bit of primer on this wrapping paper. So I was going to use this packing paper as part of masking until I tested it. See how that's wet? That's bleed through. That's no bueno. But luckily, I found whatever this is. What does this say? Red rosin paper. So what that says? Red rosin paper. So I don't know what that means. So we're gonna let a scientific test commence. It's from fucking Lowe's, so I'm assuming this might just be house paper. Not as bad bleed as this. It ain't that much worse. Is this dry? Didn't rip. This is better, but I still don't really trust it. That's probably a little more than a wet area than what this was. You know, this packing paper seems like it did better because I have a bigger spray area.
with a little bit of bleed. This has a smaller spray area with about the same amount of bleed, but where it was wet, it still bled through. So whatever that red rosin paper is, no bueno. I think I'm gonna have to get some newspapers. Or I mean, I got cardboard, so I don't like using it, but we got what we got. I just found this laying around. Good thing I tested it against that primer. Took it right off. And there's the back side. It just... It's taking it off completely. So I was going to use this before I painted, so that's fucking done. Huh. Literally sat at a stop sign for about literally 2.5 minutes. I just pulled out in front of fucking a bunch of people. So fuck it, I ain't waiting here. The fuck is all this traffic coming from? This is getting annoying. Copper, that's why. Turn green. Screwed a little tire there. Whoops. I opted to do the masking paper option. And I guess one reason why they locked it up is because people are too stupid to actually look at what the labels or the caps look like. So they're too stupid to figure out, oh, the paint's the same color, it's gonna look the same as the cap. So they spray it on the ground. And all that. Fucking retards. Look at this fucking idiot. I'm going about 85 miles per hour. This guy just came flying up and slammed on his brakes at about 100. Super speeder law. There used to be cops that sit up through here. All through here there used to be cops. Where are the cops? Where are they? And yet there goes another one. Look at this fucking idiot. He's got his fingers out there like he's got a cigarette or a blunt or something. Yeah, he's got a blunt, so he came past me. I get right behind him, only for him to go to 55 mile an hour down this off ramp, slow all the way down. And now look, like, bruh, pick a fucking speed, you stupid shithead. This is why road rage exists. Sportscaster arrested for road rage. As I tell the officers, well, officer, this guy was a real fucking asshole, so I decided to rip him out of his fucking car. Beat the absolute living piss out of him. It was absolutely glorious. Fists flying, blood splattering. It was glorious. 55 mile an hour zone, and now he's only going 35. Fucking moron. Ladies and gentlemen, look who we caught up to. Mr. Driving recklessly on the highway, Mr. Super Speeder. There he goes, speed limit, I'm going 65. He is hitting about 80 right now and increasing speed. Holy shit, people. Hopefully he dies in a fiery car accident, a piece of fucking shit. All right, let me be serious for a moment. Like, just kind of joking aside, I might be in a time crunch to try and get this car painted. I may not even get painted, but I'm not worried about it. But I might drive slightly reckless just to get around some people that are going too damn slow, and I'm getting a little irritated. But there's no reason to be driving like that fucking retard. Like, there's no reason for it. Eventually you'll get there. Who cares? I'm behind a bunch of slow people. Just be patient. You can get around them just like that. The speed limit is 40 on this road here. That guy's only going about 30. You'll get around him eventually. I think he just turned up that way. Yeah, he's not in front. Oh no, he's still up. He's still way up there. This song reminds me of the Dick Figures movie on YouTube from probably about 10 or 15 years ago. Probably about 15 years ago. I want to go back and watch that movie. That shit's been seared into my head. And in a good way. Dick Figures was absolutely great. Recommend watching it. Especially if you're one of these younger kids who has a non-lasting attention span. It'll keep your attention. I'm gonna have to really get these brakes looked at because she didn't want to stop. She wants to go. So I think that's a good thing because she really wants to be painted and she wants me to do it and she wants to hurry up and go, which makes me anxious to drive this thing again. So me and this car both have the same idea. Anybody says these newer cars don't have souls, maybe the 2020s and up don't. They definitely don't. But anything 20 and 19 and older, they have souls. She wants to go and never stop. She just wants to keep on going. No brakes, no problem. We don't need brakes where we're going. I caved. I got masks. Try and do this as safely as possible. So it's time limited. The humidity is actually right where I can prime. The temperature is prime for prime. So it is prime for prime. It is prime time. Prime time. Time prime. It's pretty damn dark, but I'm committed. I need to find some lights. I'm gonna just spray it and then I'll just back it right in. I'm gonna kind of take the risk because I don't want anything really. I don't have anything attached. Well, you can't really see it to the fans or anything, but I'm gonna have to just kind of back it in as is. I got everything where I know the spray is gonna. I may add some more right around there, but I think I got right where most of the overspray is gonna be. Let's see what I did on the other side here. Did I go all the way down? No, I didn't. I'm probably gonna add some more, but man, you can't really tell. But let me get a light. That guy's been back and forth 3 different fucking times. Shit's annoying. There we go. But yeah, I think I might add a couple more pieces of masking paper there, but that's fine. The overspray is not going to be that high, but you know, I don't want to take a risk on the windshield or underneath on the wipers. I'm going to have to tape that down. Put another piece of paper over that or something, but I'll tape that down probably. I'm probably going to end up just painting it like this and just kind of being mindful of where I spray. But yeah, I'm going to add a couple more papers right here just so I don't get any overspray along this paint right here because I don't feel like painting the whole fucking thing. Of course, Harbor Freight garbage, the fucking light's got to burn out on the second fucking use. At least the other one works. Well, there's the paint rig. It's at that point where I'm going to have to wet sand the shit out of it because there's just nothing but fucking dust and insects and bugs and dust and insects and beetles and Beetlejuice. Like, so, I mean, it's primed. It can sit outside now. It just needs to do a quick dry. Oversprayed on the roof, on the glass. I didn't realize these rattle cans were going to overspray as bad as they did. I thought it was going to be like, oh, it's just going to be a little bit of dust. No, all over the roof. So, I mean, theoretically, it should just wipe down, so cool, I guess. These fucking bugs keep flying into me, so I'm gonna turn these lights off and let it dry. I'm gonna just back it in. I don't know if you can see it, but well, that paint's wiping off. I think all I gotta do is just wash the fucking thing, and we'll be good. I think the one time we're being lazy paid off. The primer adhered to all the dust I left on a roof. Because normally you're supposed to wash the whole car before you prime it. I just wiped the hood off and then prepped it with some degreaser. And I mean, it's not the best prime job. It's gonna have to get sanded. It's probably gonna have to get another layer of primer. But I mean, in all honesty, this thing looks pretty damn good. I mean, for using rattle cans. So, I mean, honestly, as the inner painter of me who's actually painted cars back as in school, this looks like shit. But for using rattle cans and knowing exactly what I did, pretty damn good. In all honesty, the overall job from a professional standpoint, a 3. From an unprofessional standpoint, a 7. That gives us an average of a 5 out of 10. I'm happy with that. There's a few spots that didn't get covered. You can see where it's like black. I'm sanding it down. I'm gonna apply another layer. Let's just say painting in the night sky, not the best of ideas. But I already anticipated this anyway. I figured I'm gonna have to do a couple more layers of primer. So I got a can and a half remaining and another can. So I'm gonna try and use that on this thing and get it resituated. But you can see where I started sanding. So spots I'm already missing. But I'm just gonna hurry up and try and get another layer of primer. It's about 12 o'clock noon. The weather's like absolutely perfect. It's about 52 degrees outside right now. No humidity, no nothing. So, see where we end up. Well, needless to say that it broke my $200 budget. So now I'm over budget by about 30 or 40 bucks. But honestly, all the black that was there and all the bleed through that was there, gone. I nicked the stupid primer. So that'll probably have to sand out with some sandpaper or something. But I got 1,000 grit just in case. And I also have 800 grit gray Scotch-Brite. So that should just take that right out. So I'll hit that with the red and then hit that with the gray and it should just come right out. No big deal. I'm not too worried about it. Won't notice it unless you just look for it. But that big ass scratch that was there in the corner, that's about fully filled in now. So I'm happy with that. I'm debating on whether doing a 3rd layer just in case. But in all fairness, I may not even have to. So we're gonna give this an hour to cure. So right now we're about 1:15, so about 2:15, 2:30, this thing will be ready to be sanded. And then that should take me about 30 minutes. And then that will take me, so I should have this thing at least base coated by 5 and hopefully cleared. But she's coming along. This thing I think might have a parasitic drain issue, or it could have just been me not realizing I didn't turn the car completely off and left it in accessory mode, which is a possibility because usually I'll just turn it off in gear and then not use the parking brake. I'll just leave it in gear, and then not realizing it goes into accessory mode. So that could have just been me, or it could have just been the stupid police radar which drained the battery, which shouldn't, but I did leave it plugged in, which normally it never drains it because usually it's plugged in the whole entire time. So maybe, I don't know, it fired up beforehand, no problems. Yesterday it was completely dead. Again, it could have just been me being stupid, not realizing it was in accessory mode and then leaving it drain itself. So I don't know, we're gonna keep an eye on that. So a little bit unrelated problems. Yeah,
it's AI Marty Robbins. It's not really Marty Robbins, which just makes it all that much funnier.
Said, stranger, please listen to me now. Jed here is a former cop, and what he lacks in wit, he makes up for with his aim, and 30 graves prove it. Jed said, people, place your bets, this won't take but a sec. I'll make this stranger 31, then I'll get the check. Then people started pulling cash and picking out a side, and they put my odds at 10 to 1, and it kinda hurt my pride. It's a Waffle House gunfight. They want me to die tonight. Jed's all covered in blisters from drinking in the sun and sleeping with his sister. He said, folks,
you're not supposed to float gears in a modern automatic, or automatic. You're not supposed to float gears in a modern manual. I'd do it because I know how to. So you don't really need to use a clutch, but the problem is if you don't float them correctly, you break the synchros in the tranny. But you can do it in a semi. You're supposed to float them in a semi.
I was a highwayman. Along the approach roads I did ride.
place to rest my...
I forgot that this thing didn't have a drain plug in the back, so it's just an open hole. I was going to take it through the automatic and then just subconsciously went to this one because a lot of these touchless will still have a like a attendant or something come out and like actually take a rag to your car. I don't want that, so yay, subconscious. But I only found that out because the battery was dead. So I guess that was the car telling me something. And I said, a lot of people say these modern cars don't have souls. This fucking car definitely has a soul. It told me there was a problem, and the way it told me that there was a problem is by making sure that the battery was dead, and the only way I would have known that there was a hole in the back of the trunk where the drain plug was by charging the battery. I love this car. All right, we're clean enough. I'm happy with how it turned out. It's got all the pollen off of it, so hooray! Yeah, go ahead and try and hit that laser on me, you piece of shit. I'm going to speed limit in 4th gear. But I'm going to speed limit in 5th gear. Red Equinox is right up on my fucking 4 o'clock. Weaving in and out of traffic, was riding my ass, just cut a Ford Explorer off. Guess who was driving? A middle-aged woman who was obese. Something over and seeing somebody on the side of the road changing a fucking tire, that tells me that's foreshadowing. Why is there a boat trailer there with no truck hooked onto it? And there's a guy that's just fucking walking around it. A random guy. No truck, no nothing.
still getting passed. See what that douchebag did? He slowed down on purpose. There's a cop sitting right there too. Surprised my thing didn't go off. That's impressive. He's in a good area, I'll give him that. He wouldn't have picked it up on the camera, but there's a plot of woods that opens up into a pond, and he was sitting pretty far back there. And he was in an F-150 Raptor. We know where he got that from. Florida law states that anybody who's pulled over on the side of the road, emergency vehicle or not, you have to move over an entire lane or slow way down to a safe speed. Out of my state, fucking California. There's a cop sitting back there, I didn't even see him. The scanner saw him before I did. I don't know where he's at. This guy right here is all over the fucking road. Watch him, he'll move over into this lane here by accident. Or maybe on purpose, I don't know. Guys, trailer tires aren't rated for that speed. Some old hag. Those things are only rated for 60 miles an hour. Seen people use that bridge. That's impressive. Or maybe not impressive, surprising. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I gotta zoom pretty far out. You up there, it just kind of looks like a cop car, doesn't it? Yeah. Look over there, it's halfway out, primered. You see the black rims with the silver thing in the middle. It just looks like a fucking cop car. That's all I got to work with. With that and that. And I got that for primer. Or for the paint. This is supposed to be used for primer when you're putting the base coat on, but I don't think it really matters. So this you can probably, I think you can use this on base coat if you have a high spot or like a run, and then use this for your primer, and then use this for finishing off the base coat, getting in a clear coat. Which I have one. Oh, wait a minute. One can of that. I might have to go back and do two. But yeah, that's all we got to work with. Got a little bit of burn through here, and there's another spot where it started to burn through, a little bit on the edge, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm kind of excited to paint this thing now, because now I'm on the base coat, everything's dry, it's as smooth as it's gonna get. I mean, it's still a little bit rough. The paint's gonna come out rough. The clear coat should at least make it feel a little bit more smooth, but there's no dust or anything. There's no dust. So I'm happy with it. I can't wait to hit this with base coat and then clear it, 'cause then I'll be able to drive it tomorrow. There's a couple of imperfections
Ironically, the one major imperfection that I thought was going to be a big problem, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, that right there, doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as bad as some of the other chips. Which was the whole goal, is to try and clean it up. But it ain't going to rust. My original goal was to try and get this perfect. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect because I'm using rattle cans for fuck's sake. But rust prevention was the main goal, because there was a lot of, it's going to look a lot better. And this thing looked like shit. It's going to look a lot better than shit. It's just going to look like a pretty piece of garbage. That's literally what this hood is, a pretty piece of garbage. We found it in the junkyard and threw it on. So, yeah. Rattle cans. Easy to get. Easy to do. Would I recommend it on a big project like what I'm doing? No. If you're going to do a big project like I'm doing, and you're doing it as cheaply as possible, and as easy as possible, don't use rattle cans unless you're doing like a mirror or something. Because the rattle cans, I spent, let's see, there were, I think, $17 times 3 cans is 17 is 34. So $52 in rattle cans for that. This base coat I think was $12, so another $24 there. This clear coat I think was $15. So I mean it adds up. Plus all the sandpaper, $8, $6, $8. The prep spray, I think that was like, I think $10 or $15, something like that. The masks, that was I think $8. The actual paper was I think $5. That was the cheapest thing. The cheapest thing was the paper. The tape was like $8 for the fat roll, and I think $6 for the skinny roll. And I found another roll somewhere in here. Yeah, so I'm over like $200 on this thing. Would I recommend it? Small project, yes. If you already have an air compressor, which I am planning on getting one. Well, here's the thing. I do have an air compressor, but it's too tiny for what I need it for. I could have went out and got a paint gun for $80 at Harbor Freight, and I spent another $200 in primer and paint. The problem is, I don't have a way of cleaning it. The rattle cans, you just use it, throw it away, you're done. So as far as convenience, rattle cans are more convenient. As far as doing a bigger project, don't use rattle cans. Using them on like a mirror or something. Base coat is applied. Kind of looks like shit, but that's rust prevention. We'll let it dry, and then if need be, I'll grab another can of black, because I got about a quarter of a can remaining. The second can just started kind of pitter-puttering. For whatever reason, I have no idea. But if it doesn't look adequate, I'll get 2 more cans of paint, or another can of, maybe 2 cans of base coat, and then just slap it on there, and then I'll grab another can of clear. We'll see how she looks in an hour. I went out and bought 2 more cans of base, and I just sprayed it with the first coat of primer, or clear coat. It ain't gonna be perfect, but rust prevention is rust prevention. Well, I gotta wait the 48 hours. It's gonna orange peel like fucking crazy, but it looks like an OE paint job. Not perfect. There's some dust flakes and everything in it. Some finger marks where the dust came off. But I feel like I could probably just wet sand that out if I can't even be bothered. But it actually, it's pretty close. It is pretty close. No more exposed metal from what it was beforehand. This is a lot better. A lot better.